Hello, everybody. Welcome. It has been such a long time since I've been live here on this YouTube channel. So this is so exciting. I'm like a minute early. Woohoo! So, and I wanted to just test sound, and hopefully the sound is okay. So, a couple people are already here. They were waiting. Thanks. Welcome. So in the live chat here on YouTube, if you could just tell me that you can hear me okay. As you can see, I'm outside. I'm in the beautiful Balboa Park here in San Diego. And there is, foot traffic, means people are walking and riding their bikes and running around here. We have the streets right in front, so there could be some noise that might not be ideal. Wind picking up on the microphone. So hopefully this is all good. If you guys can hear me, just give me a yeah. Jennifer, sound is great. I can hear you. So let's just check. It should be okay. Everyone all good? And Alt, that's a familiar face. Name, I should say. Everyone can hear me okay, right? As we get started, yay, Nasor, thank you so much. You can hear me, great. So if it does get noisy, cars honking, people talking, that is just part of the live, real experience. So it has been so long. If you are just joining me live, or if you're watching the replay and you've never met me, hello, I'm Jennifer, and I'm the teacher and the founder of English Outside the Box. And English Outside the Box provides online English education. What does that mean? Online English education. Well, that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. And it's a little bit more about how you can learn with me, what English Outside the Box is, and to answer some questions. So I sent an email to everyone signed up on my newsletter list, and I've communicated with some students via email as well. And a lot of students have the same questions about programs I offer, classes I teach, things that I do online. And I have a lot of questions that came in when I said I was doing this online live Q&A. So I wanted to take the time to answer them in one place so everybody could hear, so everybody could have access to the information. And of course, for anyone joining live, like Johnny Muir Lopez, Nasser, and Alt, Arturo, and anyone else joining, if you guys have questions that you want to ask right here live now with me, you can do that and we can answer them. All right. So if you have questions and you're watching live, you guys know where the chat is, and you can go ahead and chat with me and ask those questions live. If you're watching the replay and you have a question, you can comment below this video. However, the best way to get your answers quickly are to send me an email. And you can send me an email at jensel760@englishoutsidethebox.com. If that's like, too much information, you can't write it down or you don't remember, go to my website, englishoutsidethebox.com. There's links all over my YouTube channel for that. And there is a contact button that you can click, and you'll get access to my email there as well. And that's if you have a question that I didn't answer, or you're watching this video later, or you thought of something, you're like, I forgot to ask, so you can send me it there. So again, let's do a quick introduction. In Random Reviews, which seems like a spammy name, but ask how the weather is here. So the weather is beautiful. It's the first day of October. Happy October. I'm in a short sleeve shirt. You can see people behind me running in shorts and tank tops. So the weather is beautiful. It's still sunny. I mean, yesterday it was very hot, like shorts and tank top, 90 degrees Fahrenheit hot. Today it's going to be in the 80s, which is of course Fahrenheit. So let me just switch here. Today it's going to be like 28, 29 is our highs. So I can't complain here in San Diego. And Balboa Park here is absolutely beautiful. So yes, I am from the United States. So I'm an American English teacher. I'm a native speaker. I was born here in the States. So I teach English from a native speaking teacher's perspective, expertise, and experience. I've been teaching for so long. I started teaching and doing language exchanges and things back in 2007 when I was living in Spain. I've lived in Spain, so I've studied Spanish. Olvidé todo, right? I forgot almost all of my Spanish, though, because I haven't used it. And I taught English here in California. In Tucson, I lived in Arizona. I've also traveled around the world. I've taught English, I mentioned, in Spain a little bit. And I lived in Brazil for almost 9 months. So I lived in Brazil. And just so you know a little bit about my experience of language learning, I went to Brazil knowing absolutely nothing. I knew maybe oi, which is hi or hello. And within 8 months, I became not fluent, but I was able to have conversations. I was able to listen. I was able to communicate. And that happened, of course, with living in the country, but surrounding myself in the language I was learning, which was Portuguese. And I was listening to it. I was watching it. I was reading it. I was speaking it. I was hearing it. And the biggest thing, the most important thing is that I tried from the very beginning to not be fearful and to not be nervous to speak. And I tried not to be afraid of making mistakes, because when you're afraid to make mistakes, that creates a lot of obstacles for yourself, and it creates a lot of limitations in learning. And now I'm fluent in Portuguese, and yes, so I'm a language learner as well. So I know what it's like to learn. I've learned languages. I've been teaching language for over 10 years. So I really feel very qualified and almost an expert, you could say, in language teaching, especially English. So that's a little bit of my background. And so English Outside the Box started because I wanted to reach more students. I didn't want to reach and to help the 15 students that I had in my classroom. So I created English Outside the Box to teach more people around the world, and to help connect them to the American English that I am passionate about teaching, which is real, natural language, idioms, expressions, phrasal verbs, teaching a natural pronunciation and intonation, and helping my learners speak the English that they're going to hear when they travel, that they're going to use when they travel, when they use at work if they connect with an English-speaking company, English that they'll hear in TV and movies, English that you need. I don't use textbooks. I don't rely on academic textbook style language, because I feel that's not authentic. It's not real. It's not what you're going to hear and use. It's going to help you speak English, but you might sound kind of robotic and not natural. So everything I teach is based on real language that's actually used. You're not going to be learning stuff that was popular in the 80s, that if you used it today, people would look at you like you had 10 heads and you were crazy. Okay, so that's a little bit about English Outside the Box and how it started. So how do I teach English? Well, online. So a lot of students ask me about private lessons. I see Random Reviews has quickly asked, can you do Skype lessons to help me improve English pronunciation and usage? So I want to get into that part of this question and answer, that part of this Q&A. What is English Outside the Box? What do I do to help learners? So you're here on YouTube, watching this YouTube. And if you check out my YouTube channel, you'll see hundreds and hundreds of video lessons. I have 30-minute lessons with a blog written lesson with practice and exercises to use. So these are full 30-minute lessons available to you for free online. I have a variety of different lessons about grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, idioms, phrasal verbs, etc. And I also have 60-second type of short bits and quick pieces of information. I have tons of videos I used to create every week called 5-Minute English. These are 5-minute videos helping you learn a variety of things. So definitely utilize all of the resources that are on my channel. Learning a language takes work, okay? So you got to put in the effort that you want to receive back. That means if you want to be fluent in English, then you need to be dedicating yourself to learn and become fluent in English. If you just want the quick, easy way, I want to study an hour a week and become fluent, that's going to be challenging, and that's not something I recommend. So definitely doing the work. And part of the work is going to be realizing what you want to study, what you need to study, and then taking the time to find it. So you can use the search bar on YouTube to search present perfect, phrasal verbs, etc. And you'll find those videos on my channel helping you do that. Every video has a link in the description to the website that has the lesson and the exercises and the materials, okay? So then that's a little bit about learning on YouTube and my blog. So EnglishOutsideTheBox.com/blog has those lessons. If you go to my website and you look at that blog, then that has some video supporting lessons. It also has non-video lessons, exercises and practice as well. So utilize both. Instagram, who is on Instagram? You guys can go follow Jen ESL 760, Jen Jen ESL 760, and you can see that I have an account here where I teach some information, videos, expressions, etc. And these are everyday English. I'm no longer posting every day because honestly, it took a lot of my time, and I found that it was taking away the time that I could have been dedicating to my programs, my Skype students, and my online students that were serious in investing in their education with me. And I wanted to give them that full investment of myself and my passion and my time back. And so that's an answer to a common question. Why don't I post on Instagram anymore every day? Well, Instagram was taking up a lot of my time, and I felt like it was taking away from my programs and my courses again. So now that's where a lot of my attention is. So let's get to, those are some free options. So if you're here and you only want to learn for free, then check out my Instagram, my website, and my YouTube channel, because there are hundreds of resources for you. Now let's go to, and I'll get to the other questions at the end, so I'm not forgetting about you. I'm staying on track with a little structure here. A random review said, can you do Skype lessons to help me improve? So students email me all the time. Do you have private lessons? My private one-on-one Skype lessons, the availability is pretty small. If you guys know and have been following me for a while, you know I have a baby who's not much of a baby anymore because he recently turned 2. But I have limited availability because of my toddler, my baby. He requires a lot of my attention. I am a mom first, and he is my priority. So that is where a lot of my attention also has gone. Because of that, availability for one-on-one lessons is very small. These lessons begin at $50 per hour. You can get packages of 4, and that is the baseline price, and that really depends on what you want. And based on what you want, based on what you need, I create the curriculum, the program, the classes, the homework if you want it, for everything that you need based on what you need. So these are personalized. You're getting 1 hour of my attention, 1 hour of my expertise, 1 hour of my teaching, my guidance, face-to-face online. You get personalized help with your pronunciation, your grammar, your vocabulary, everything you need. And then you get that outside support as well. You get the lessons that are planned just for you. You get the personalized curriculum. You get the feedback via email after, and you get the support with your questions along the way. And so that's for one-on-one learning via Skype. And then, of course, anyone that if you're interested in signing up, you're like, yes, I'm ready to invest in myself. I'm ready to invest in my English. Let's do this. And you want to start? Just head over to my website or send me an email, and I'll get you started on our steps to get started to help you learning English. So I also have a lot of online programs. So most of my programs are going to be self-study, meaning you do it on your own, or a mix of self-study and group with me, or a mix of self-study, group, and one-on-one time. So let's just kind of review that because it can be kind of confusing. So I do much, 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 much more than just 1 hour on Skype. And I do that because 1 hour on Skype, one time per week, is not going to get you fluent very quickly. So again, programs are going to be courses online that you buy, and they're self-study. I've created all the materials and guidance for you that you do on your own. Of course, you can email me if you have questions, but it's self-study. Additionally, I have programs that you can join where you get the materials. You have things that you can do on your own, self-study. There is support with a group, so you're going to be learning with other students in a group setting. So it's self-study and group, or I have options for programs that are self-study, you get the materials, a group setting, you get to learn with others, and personalized one-on-one time. And that means you get classes with me, individual, to follow up and to get more information. So those prices all differ. Se você fala português, eu falei que eu falo também. Eu tenho curso só para você, para pronúncia para pessoas que falam português, okay? So if you don't speak Portuguese, I'm sorry, but what I said was if you speak Portuguese, I have a pronunciation course just for you. I created a pronunciation course just for Portuguese speakers because I speak Portuguese. I lived in Brazil. The majority of my students are from Brazil. So over the years, I've really learned what mistakes they make, common difficulties. So I created a pronunciation course to help with the most common mistakes that will teach you what they are, how to fix them, how to practice them, and how you can sound more natural while eliminating mistakes. I also have some other courses. So if you want something specific, just send me an email. I can't review all of them today. Let me get more comfortable here. I can't review all of them today, but if you have something specific that you want to learn, then send me an email and I might have a course for it. For example, I have courses learning with TV. So Bloodline is a fabulous, fabulous show on Netflix, and you can learn with some materials I've created to help support you in that, learning vocabulary, etc. The Conversation Club is the best way to learn English with me because it gets materials every month. It gets the support of group lessons. It gets the support of a group message community, and it gets help and feedback along the way to learn real English. So you can join the Conversation Club. It's $40 US per month. Okay, so it's $40 US per month. This is for the self-study and group option, the Conversation Club. Let's see here. Had a little note I had to write down. So the Conversation Club is going to be teaching you natural English from real articles from the newspaper, from the magazines, from the internet, real videos like TED Talks, interviews, TV, movie pieces. I take real English materials that I find online that are being read by people, that are being talked about in the media, that are being, spoken about. So I take these real articles with real language that are created by native speakers for native speakers. Now, this part is really important because it's really easy to say, okay, I'm going to teach 5 phrasal verbs today. And I unnaturally create sentences and examples to teach those things. Dora, hello, Dora. Welcome. I just saw your comment in the chat. Dora, I'm just beginning to explain about the Conversation Club. And Dora has been a member of the Conversation Club for months and months and months. I miss you, Dora. I hope I see you in our group call this week or next week or the week after. So, Dora, if you feel inspired, I lost focus here. There we go. Dora, if you feel inspired to share what you love about the Conversation Club in the comments, I'd love that. You don't have to, but I'd love that. And I'm just doing a live outside because it's a beautiful day. So getting back on track about the Conversation Club. So I take this language that's really being used by native speakers. So it's 100% natural, and it's what is being used naturally by these native speakers. It's not being created for an English learner, so it's not unnatural. It's real stuff being used, real things that are being said without someone thinking about teaching English. It's just what is being said. So this is the language you're going to hear when you travel, when you work in an English-speaking country, when you watch TV, when you watch movies, when you read articles online. So I take this real language and these real materials, and then I pull out, meaning I find all of the phrasal verbs, the idioms, the expressions, and the difficult language that my learners need, and then I teach that language, and I teach it through audio, passive and active practice, through definitions, through sentence examples. I teach you how to use it in your own life. So I use it and I show you how you can practice using it in your own life. Where can you think about using it in your own life? So where can you start applying it in your own life? So I help you connect it to your own use, because everyone needs English for a different purpose. You need to understand how you can use the language. So my materials help you understand that. I create discussion questions for you to use and practice them with yourself, with friends, with colleagues, with other members of the club, and with me. These discussion questions give you speaking practice, listening practice. They get you thinking about it. They get you using it. They get you reading it. They get you listening to it. So the Conversation Club uses all of your skills: listening, reading, writing, speaking. Did I miss any? Listening, reading and writing and speaking and seeing. It uses all of those skills to learn this language, which is really helpful because that's what you need. You need to learn this language. You need to know how to use it. So I help you do that. Included in the Conversation Club is also a pronunciation lesson, a full PDF lesson, audio to help you understand, and a video lesson teaching you how to pronounce it with your mouth, how to focus on your mouth position, and a video lesson to support the PDF. The pronunciation lessons always teach natural American linking, the reductions of sounds, how to connect, intonation practice, where the stress of words are, and it always gives a focused practice on various difficulties in English pronunciation. Like I said, intonation, connected speech, linking, the schwa, different sounds, consonant to consonant connections, consonant to vowel connections, etc. And then finally, there is a progress review to check your understanding of the material. There's a group message community, meaning all of our friends, all of the members can come together and practice typing, communicate with each other, ask questions. They can create meetups if they want to talk with other learners. And then there's 6 group calls every month with me or with another native speaking English teacher. So there are 6 opportunities for 1 hour to connect with me. So I mentioned that a 1 hour lesson with me, for example, is $50 per hour. This is $40 per month, and you can get 6 hours of video practice live with me. You're most likely going to be with other students. However, sometimes I've taught 1 or 2 students. Sometimes I've had 8 in there. So it all depends. You just got to show up to these live lessons and see who's going to be there, practice listening to different accents, and practice what you're learning live with me in the group call. So that, again, is that group and self-study learning that you can do. And then with the Conversation Club, I also have add-on programs if you need that extra one-on-one support. And the extra one-on-one support, you can add on to the Conversation Club to get feedback every week, writing feedback if you need. We can do an extra Skype call together one-on-one if you need. So there are other options available if you need extra one-on-one support outside of that group learning. So if you're interested in any of those, again, you can send me an email and you can ask me about it. And I can give you the links to join or more information if I didn't answer your questions here today. I think that's the majority of everything. The easiest way, if you're like, I want to join the Conversation Club right now, it's October 1st. So I just released the first 2 weeks of the materials. So you'll have access to the materials, to the new expressions this month, the words, the phrasal verbs, the expressions, the definitions, the examples. The first part of all the materials are ready and waiting for you online. Today and tomorrow, August 1st and August 2nd, are going to be the only days that you can sign up and get September and October's materials for just the price of one. So if you've been thinking about joining the club, then today is the time to do it because you're going to get access to September and October's materials right now, and you can have it forever. Everything's available for you to download and save on your phone or your laptop or your computer. Yes. Oh, so the best way to join that is to go to my website and you'll find the link, or bit.ly/PV Club 1. bit.ly/PV Club 1. And that's going to take you to the, can I share my screen here? I haven't been on YouTube live in so long and it changed things. I don't think I can share my screen anymore. Anyways, can I do this? Oh my gosh, guys, I'm going to be really fancy. Look at this. Ba-da-da! I don't know what you're seeing now. Oh, I do kind of. Okay, so if you go here, you can see BIT, look for the Natural English Conversation Club, and it'll give you all of the information. Look, Dora! Information that people say, the call times, and then you can go to the bottom and click here, and then you can join, enter your payment information, and join me live. All right. And so if you have any questions about that or anything that I've talked about so far, again, please let me know. I'm here to answer questions live. Dora said about the Conversation Club, she's been a member for months. She said it's a great way to learn natural English by joining the group calls, asking questions directly, and getting answers instantly. Yes. So you can actually do that in the group message community too, Dora. Come back. Awesome. So yeah, it's online learning. You get access to all the materials. When you join the Conversation Club, you have to, of course, pay and create your username and password. And when you create the username and password, you'll get access to my online classroom. And in the online classroom, you'll see all of the materials. It's separated by month. For example, September week 1, September week 2, September week 3, et cetera, et cetera. Has all of the links to our group calls to join, has all of the extra resources and PDF download links, and has all of the information that you need right there in the online classroom for you to get access to all your materials immediately. The online lessons are done through Zoom. Zoom is a program that's available on your computer, your iPhone, or your iPad. You just need to download the program and make sure it works on your computer. All of the links to join are in the online classroom. And we have a Saturday morning class. We have weekday evenings and weekday morning classes. And they're on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, on Saturdays. So there are times available in the morning and the afternoon, on the weekdays and on the weekend. So it really allows everybody to join. Most of my students join average 3 calls per month. Some of them join 2, some of them join 1, and so many of my students have never joined any because they find that just using all of the materials are worth it in their own because they get audio, video, PDFs, practice exercises, etc. So it's really up to you on how you use the materials, how much you utilize the program. The more you put in, the more you get out, which means the more effort you put, the more you're going to learn. And I'm a teacher. I'm passionate about teaching you guys. My goal is you to reach your goal in English. So when you work with me, we really work on doing that together, and I'm there to support you along the way. All right, so let's go over some other questions here. If you have any questions, of course, ask me live in the chat, and then I'm going to come back here to some of these questions. Talked about the weather. Why is it difficult to understand native speakers? Arturo. So Arturo, this is a really good question and something we talk about every single month, every single week in the Conversation Club. So the reason you have a difficulty understanding native speakers is because what you learn is not what you hear. I'm going to repeat that. What you learn is not always what you hear. And so I'm trying to think about the example. Let me pull up the material from last month that students had a really hard time with. They said, I wouldn't have understood that if you didn't break it down for me. Where is it? Okay. So let me just pull it up here. And I'll give you some examples. I'll write it in the chat and I'll really help you out there. So one of the expressions we learned last month, for example, was this expression here. And I'm typing it in the chat. So if you're watching the chat, watching live, you can see it. And I'll say it really slowly so you can follow along. And Arturo, this is answering your question of why is it difficult to understand native speakers? You study English, you read it, you understand it, and then you hear it, you're like, what? So this is the expression, get worked up about it. Get worked up about it. And this is an expression that means you get upset. I hate lying. When people lie, I get mad, I get angry, I get upset. I get worked up about it. That's not how I would say it. I wouldn't say it so individually with every word, every syllable, and every sound pronounced. I'd say, I get worked up about it. I get worked up about it. I get worked up about it. The T's aren't pronounced. I don't say get, I say get. The ending ED in worked is no longer a T sound. It's worked up and changes to a D. Notice how I move the ending syllable of worked over to connect with up. So it's not get worked up. It's get worked up. Dup, dup, get worked up. So I move that ending syllable over to connect with the next word. P'bout it. I get worked up. P'bout it. P'bout it. P'bout it. P'bout it is about it. So how, as an English learner, are you supposed to understand that get worked up about it is get worked up about it, get worked up about it, get worked up about it, if you don't actually train the pronunciation, the natural linking, the natural connected speech? And that's really what the pronunciation lessons in the Conversation Club does. It teaches you that natural pronunciation. It teaches you the linking, the connected speech. I help you understand the schwa sound, how to pronounce the American T. When does it sound like a T? When does it sound like a D? When does it sound like an N? Did you know the T sounded like an N? Yeah. When is it held? When do I not pronounce it? Why is it not get? Why is it get? And how can you pronounce that correctly? So these are some of the things that I talk about in the pronunciation lesson. And this is why, Arturo, it's hard for you to understand native speakers, because native speakers cut words, we link words, we connect words, and we just change them completely. So for example, today, T-O-D-A-Y, is not today. The day after today is not tomorrow. Even though it looks like today and tomorrow, you may read it like today, tomorrow. It's not. It's today, tomorrow. Today, tomorrow. Today, tomorrow. And that's because of the schwa sound. What is the schwa sound? The schwa sound is a very common pronunciation. The most common sound in American English pronunciation. So I'm going to add a bonus. If you join the Conversation Club today or tomorrow, you are going to get September's materials, all of the group call replays, so you can watch our questions, you can see how we practice. You're going to get all of September's materials because they're available in the online classroom today and tomorrow. You're going to get October's materials because I'm uploading them today and tomorrow. And then I'll give you a bonus schwa pronunciation lesson to help you understand more about the schwa, because October includes some of that schwa pronunciation that you need to know. So that's a bonus if you join today. And that's why you don't understand. Arturo, does that answer your question? Let me know. Scrolling back up to answer more questions. If you have them, keep them coming. How to master spoken English grammar naturally, Nasur. So this is definitely what I have been talking about. You want to learn the language naturally. So don't learn the present perfect in a textbook using unnatural examples about John in Pennsylvania. You're not John, you're not from Pennsylvania. You're not going to be using this type of English when you need to learn it and speak it when you travel or when you work or when you study in an English-speaking country. So you want to learn the language naturally, how native speakers use it, how you hear it in TV and movies, how you hear it on the streets. And that is what's important. So you want to learn English in a natural context. I say forget the textbooks. So you can definitely learn that in my program that I've been talking about, the Conversation Club. I also forgot to tell all of you guys about my podcast. So if you have been following me for a long time, you know I also have a podcast called English Across the Pond. And this podcast is, I co-founded it with my partner, Dan. Dan is Better English from Instagram. He's from the UK. He's a British English teacher. And Dan and I meet every single week to record new episodes for English Across the Pond. You have access to the free episodes and conversations. You can go to EnglishAcrossThePond.com and you can listen to those free episodes. And then I also have a membership program you can join, our gold membership. It's $19.99 per month, and you'll get the materials. You'll get feedback for your writing, feedback for your speaking as well. And Nasur, this is really great because the podcast, English Across the Pond, teaches you, let's see, what time is it? 38. So English Across the Pond teaches that natural English. And then at the end of every episode, every week, we do a grammar language focus. So that might really support you with your learning natural grammar. And then, of course, if you sign up for the Gold Pond membership, if you sign up to become Gold, you'll get the supporting materials, the transcript, the exercises, more practice with the language focus and grammar. Nasur, okay, that was that. Why did I go so far to learn Spanish? I could learn in Mexico, but I wanted to travel abroad and experience new culture. Subscribe, thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers from all around the world. I talked a little bit about private lessons, what they are, how I use them. I talked about group learning and learning. A big rock. This is not my wedding ring. This is just a rock. I do not do lessons on Facebook anymore. It just is too time consuming. So Random Reviews asked a really good question, and it was actually a question I get too often, but let's talk about it. So please do Skype lessons for $5 an hour. Let me explain something for you guys about this. So a lot of times people ask me, teach me for free, teach me for free, teach me for free. And this is a sensitive subject because this is my passion. This is my job. This is my livelihood. Okay. This is how I feed my son, how I buy the food for my family, how I buy the roof over my head, how I buy the clothes for my child. This is my job. So a lot of this new technology and this new wave of online education, it's new, it's exciting, and people think because it's accessible and it's online and because there is free information, everything needs to be free. But that's not the case. Online teachers of English, of Spanish, of language, of anything, any type of online teacher is very similar to any teacher teaching in a school that receives a salary. They receive money. So if you come to San Diego to learn English, you're going to be paying the school registration fees, book fees, academic fees, and all kinds of fees to learn. You're going to be paying for your housing, for your host family, etc. Any kind of service, anywhere you go, you should really expect to pay because you're supporting the livelihood of this teacher, of whoever you're connecting to. So I understand that everyone's financial situation is very different, which is why, of course, I have created a lot of free options. Hours and hours and hours of online video lessons, written blog lessons on my websites and Instagram posts, hours of free materials if you want to learn with me. If you like my pronunciation, if you like my style, if you like my energy, then there's all of those free resources for you because I understand not everybody has access to what they need to join a course. However, when you decide that you really want to invest in yourself and in your English and your language and in English, when you invest and you put forth the money to buy programs, you're doing a lot of things. You're buying quality, you're buying expertise, you're buying guidance, you're buying support, you're buying convenience because you don't have to waste so much time looking for everything. You're buying the time and the support and the service, right, of the teacher. And online English education in my programs are significantly cheaper than moving to an English-speaking country and studying for a school example. And even I've talked to a lot of my Brazilian students who pay and go to like private or group classes in Brazil. Even when you go every week, I find that even my online programs are cheaper than that. So yes, so I like to kind of compare it to a couple of other things to help give people a perspective. So you can learn English online for free. I have a YouTube channel for it. I have a blog for it. I have Instagram for it. There are amazing, amazing teachers out there that provide YouTube lessons and all of this as well. And I compare one example of it to the gym. So you can absolutely exercise for free. You can exercise using the chairs in your house, stairs in your house. You can go outside. You can use benches outside. You can use parks. You can absolutely exercise for free. It's available for you. Just like you can learn English online for free. However, when you buy a gym membership, for example, you get access to the equipment. When you buy an online English course, you get access to the materials. So that's kind of that similarity there. You also get access to that motivation. I need to go to the gym because I pay for a membership and I need to use it. I need to study English because I paid for a course, I'm investing in myself, and I need to use it. So it adds that accountability, responsibility, and extra motivation. And then when you join the gym or you get a trainer, for example, you're getting that extra support, that guidance, that feedback, helping you understand where your weaknesses are, what to fix, how to get stronger, how to get fitter. And that is what an English teacher, that's what I do for you. I support you and tell you what you need to fix, what you need to improve, your strengths, your weaknesses, and I support you along the way. So there's a lot of things you can do for free, and there's a lot of things that you invest in to get a higher quality, more convenience, more support, and more motivation. And that's really the answer I give to students who ask to teach me, who ask for my lessons for free. I tell you, there are some available online for you, Instagram, YouTube, and my website. But if you're serious about learning and you want even more support and guidance, help, you want more personalized support, and you really, really want to take it to the next level, then you want to invest. And then there's the part of support. So as I mentioned, this is my livelihood. This is what I do. I am here right now answering some questions. This is my time, right? And if you love it, then you want to support. So you know that it's really great to buy local and to support local businesses, to support small businesses, to support local farms, to support the mom and pop shops, because these are the people that are pouring their heart into their field and into their passion. And if you love it and you want them to continue, then buying their products or services or supporting them is a way to keep that alive. And so that's another reason, general support for buying programs, right? All right, so let's go through some more random reviews. I hope that answers your question. I'm gonna roll down. I want to learn the basic difference between American and Canadian English pronunciation. I can't do that. I focus on American English. I know a lot of British English, and then my podcast, English Across the Pond, supports American and British English differences. Random reviews, so active. English is not my first language. I want to sound like a native American English speaker when I speak English. Then the Conversation Club for you is what you need. So learning like a native speaker, practicing like a native speaker, and using it like a native speaker. We talk about syllable stress and pronunciation. Wazir, you're new here. Welcome. I'm glad that you understand everything. Dora, thank you for adding everything about the Conversation Club. It compromises speaking, listening, reading, writing. You get to do everything necessary to learn English. Dora is a member of the Conversation Club. Dora, thank you for sharing your experience. This course provides you with everything you need to brush up your English skills. Brush up on your English skills. Practice, learn, improve, use, perfect, and keep on going. Nanan, hello, welcome. Okay. So it looks like there are no more general questions for English. We talked about as a review, we talked about how to learn with me. Well, actually, as a review, I introduced myself to anyone here that was new and talked a little bit about English outside the box. I remember seeing a question, why outside the box? So when you think outside the box, you're thinking differently than you normally do. When you think outside the box, you are thinking in different ways and non-conventional ways and new ways. So when you learn English with me and you learn English outside the box, you're losing the textbooks, you're getting outside of the classroom, and you're learning with me, my style, how I teach, and a little bit differently, which is going to help you sound more natural and more like a native speaker. So we talked about that. We talked about private lessons online. We talked about private and group lessons online. We talked about private and group and personalized lessons as well. So there are options for one-on-one, limited availability, of course. There's options for self-study. There's options for self-study in group. And there are options for self-study, group, and personalized. I also have English Across the Pond, which is a podcast focusing on American and British English. All right, Rasmus, you are a little late. Yes, I'm just about to end this unless there are some more questions, but you can rewatch the review at minute 19 of this video when you watch the replay. At minute 19, you can hear me start talking about the Conversation Club if you have questions. At minute 38, you can hear a little bit about my podcast, English Across the Pond, and a bunch of information in between that. All righty. So questions about learning with me. None. I definitely don't have time to get into that right now. Try Googling it, looking on my blog, and that will give you generalized support for that. We talked about the Conversation Club. I told you why I don't teach my Conversation Club or online for free. It's my livelihood, right? Hopefully you understand that, and I would love to see your support. So, all right, you're here for like maybe another minute or two to answer questions. But if you, someone asked, I remember this, Igor, why I should choose you. This is a really good question I almost missed. Why should I choose you? So you are going to choose me because you like my accent, you understand the way I speak, and it's easy for you. You like the program that I offer. So I just had a member today. Let me share what Adriana said in our group message community today, this morning. Thank you, Jennifer, for your mentorship and guidance. Your materials are so much better than anything I've found outside. Real message right here in our group message community. And so that's why another reason why you would choose me, Igor. There are tons of English teachers, and everyone has a different focus, a different expertise, a different passion. My passion is teaching you American English. It's teaching you natural English. It's teaching you English you're going to use through phrasal verbs, expressions, idioms, and pronunciation. It's going to help you focus on connected and linked speech and help you sound more natural, okay? So you're going to choose me because you like what my programs offer. Maybe you like that I offer a mix of self-study, group, and personalized. Maybe you don't have the time, maybe you can't afford, maybe you don't want one-on-one attention, but you know you want something. So then you can do the self-study in the group, or you can do self-study group and personalized if you want everything and the most support in English. And then most importantly, you're going to choose me because you like my energy. You like my vibe. You like my what I bring to the class, the passion that I bring, the excitement that I bring. And you're going to like that style. And I think that's most important. A lot of students say, I have a lot of energy in class. I teach with my heart. I teach like I mean it. And I teach because my goal is you achieving your goal. And my materials and my support show that. And it's hard to do that online here without anybody. But when you join a group call, you'll see the attention that I do give all of my students and the general love I have for helping them learn English. All right. I hope that answers your question, Igor. And all right. Did you become an English teacher for non-native speakers because you literally need no education when compared to a regular, since you already speak English as a native speaker? I didn't become an English speaker because I literally need no education. That's not true. I'm a certified English as a second language teacher. So I did receive education on methodologies and practices and how to teach English to non-native speakers. I studied it and I'm certified to do it. You definitely should, teachers should have education. Just because someone speaks English doesn't mean they can teach it as well. And I think a big difference in that I see with teachers is a student asks a question. Why do I say this in English and not this? Okay. The difference in the answer is going to show you quality and expertise or not. If a teacher says that because it just is, it's an exception. Because it just is, it's a rule. That's the answer that a certified teacher could give, right? Or that's something that someone who just speaks the language could teach. I don't know why it's like that, just because that's the way English is, right? So if I didn't understand language, and I didn't understand English, then that's maybe how I would teach. However, I give reasons why, phonetically or grammatically. I teach my students why their questions are true or not. And that's the difference of teaching as a educated teacher and then the difference of teaching just as a native speaker. There's not really a lot of understanding why. It's actually funny because I have an Instagram and a lot of friends and family follow it. And my native speaking American friends will respond privately being like, I loved your lesson today. I had no idea that was why. So that's the difference with that. All right, everybody. So if you have any questions, you can definitely send me an email, Jen, ESL760@EnglishOutsideTheBox.com. Head over to my website, EnglishOutsideTheBox.com. You can click contact if you want to send me a message. You can click learn English if you want to see some of my programs and join them. You can click podcast if you want to see my podcast. And I am here in the comment section, or I'm here via email to answer any more questions you have. Hope that helps you. And remember, if you join the Conversation Club today, October 1st, tomorrow, October 2nd, you're going to get October and September's learning materials. And I said I would throw in that bonus pronunciation lesson of the schwa sound, teaching you what the schwa sound is, how to pronounce it with audio exercises, etc. So hope that helps you learn English. If you love it, then join me and support English Outside the Box. Share this video, like this channel, all of that good stuff. Share English Outside the Box with your friends, and I'll talk to you guys soon, okay? Have an excellent day. Happy Monday. Have a good week. Happy studying. Bye-bye.